the Breath Masters. The Breath Source is the only app where you will find the greatest breathwork facilitators from around the world in one place. Our extensive, truly unique database of breathwork videos and live classes created by our Breath Masters offers you the opportunity to learn breathwork with the best teachers in the universe. Dive into our app and become a student today.
Hello, Breath Tribe. We're here on this live today with the one and only Sage Rader, Breath Church, Neuroacrobatics, and the only person I've ever heard use the term breath trainment, breather trainment. And Sage, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Travis. Good to be here. How you doing today, man?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much, man.
Great.
We've been trying to do this a while, and Sage came on the Breath Source about a year ago, possibly even a little longer. And he said, I want to really gear up because I want to bring my best game. And Breath Church was really kind of in the beginning of the branding in what you had envisioned. And so I want to really honor you for the time you took to methodically come to the table to bring the world the one and only Breath Church, your branding, your posts, the unbelievably beautiful artistry that you've brought to the table on top of your mastery of breathwork has been tear-jerking in my experience. So I want to honor you for that, man.
Thank you. I love art, Travis, and I'm committed to breath and art to my very last breath. And I think there's such a beautiful synergy, a creativity in the breath. And so breathertainment's all about finding a way to make breath entertaining. It's wellness backed by science. It's entertainment backed by some science. And so I wanted to take breath and make it fun. I wanted to take the heavy out of healing because my own healing journey is so challenging sometimes. And so I'm here to just make things fun and enjoyable that traditionally we think we have to armor up for. Get really ready, do some serious healing. I want a healing journey. And sometimes it's just as easy as a sequin jacket, my violin over there, and a song that's in my heart. And whatever's in my heart, in the universe that needs to come out, comes out that day. And so I'm working very, very gently and very diligently to keep breath the most enjoyable part of my life, rather than allowing it to become a business and make things overly serious that were always meant to be sacred but enjoyable.
I love that, man. And as we know, the mind of a child enters the kingdom of heaven, and heaven is here on this planet. And you've done a really good job of creating heaven around your world and around breath. You've coached some of the top names in the world. So tell us, man, how did you come to breath, and what has breath meant to you?
That's a great question. I came to breath almost on accident. It was a real life or death moment. And I just want to honor the fact that you said a child's mind. The kingdom of heaven is within us, each of us. And the child's mind is based around trust. I asked my dad once, he was a minister. I said, Dad, what is the difference with a childlike attitude? Why has it come to me like a child, mind of a child? And he said something really special. He said, a child will trust until given a reason not to.
Yeah.
A child walks in with full faith and trust. And so that's where I am today. Full faith and trust in my universe, in my breath, and every breath being a prayer of gratitude, of thanksgiving that is decoupled from circumstance. It's easy to be grateful when things are easy, at least in my experience. It's harder the more life presses and presses and presses. That's where the platitudes and the things that we espouse and the things that we assent to mentally, we say, yeah, I agree with that. That's where those really become real or not. And that's where breath, I found my breath in one of those life or death moments. I was 320 pounds, opioid dependent in Appalachia. And when you're 320 pounds and opioid dependent in Appalachia, it's time to pack it in. They told me, yeah, you just give it up. Ironically, here's the interesting part. Cut to several years later, all of the amazing achievements I've had, I had a failed back surgery. They gave me a hatchet job. and left me for dead. And I blessed them for that because it gave me an incredible opportunity to fall right below the line back to people in pain again. And when you have an opportunity, now they've told me, shut up, take your opioids, get a spinal implant. You have a wheelchair in your future. You get a little blue placard, hang it on the window of your car, you'll be fine. And I'm also back to where I was when I started this thing. Like, okay, hold my other beer. It's either give up and let death take over or believe in life, believe in breath, believe in art, decoupled from circumstance. Knowing that if I know myself and I know my breath and I know a God, any God, find a God. If you don't have a God, get a God bigger than you right about now. I don't care if you call it Steve the Purple Wombat. Get a God, get something bigger than you that you can hang your anxiety, your pain, your fear, your trouble on. I say BYOG in Breath Church. Bring your own God, man. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to get my spirituality all over you. There's enough of that in Breathwork. I think we'll agree. So if you come to church, Breath Church that is, and have a spiritual experience or something woo-woo you can't explain, like, wow, the last thing you're going to get is a deep explanation from my spiritual path as to what that means for you. I'm going to go, that's freaking amazing. Go sit with that. Come back and tell me what you find. Maybe I know nothing. You know, like everybody's unique. Everybody has an access point to the divine in their breath. And I'm here to just make it fun because it wasn't fun. They've told me so many times, pack it up and die. Pack it up and die. I laid in a hospital bed for weeks with my former wife next to me. And every night I said goodnight, not knowing if I was going to wake up in the morning because a doctor made a mistake, had me shoot a peptide up my nose without checking my pancreatic lipase. And next thing you know, I'm in intensive care. And I got to know my breath then too, because pancreatic pain, severe chronic acute pancreatitis is like basically cancer town. Like you pack it in. They made me nice and comfortable, gave me a lot of Ativan, a lot of Demerol, just tried to make me comfortable on my way out. I found my breath with all of that. And I found a power. And so I've been able to find that in myself on a regular basis. And I created some music around it because I'm an artist and I create art with AI and without AI. And I've just taken my passion for life, no matter what circumstance holds. And I've created this little project called Breath Church. And it went on every night for 18 months for free, 7 days a week during COVID until me and my posse couldn't hold it up anymore. I didn't make any ClickFunnels. I never turned it into a business. I probably should have. And now it's available on the Breath Source for $10 per session. It's a really reasonable rate to just come and experience what I give away to some of the world's top performers. But with all of that extra shaved down, it's just me in a sequin jacket with my violin, whatever sensation I have going on in my body that day. And sometimes I can't feel my leg. Sometimes I can and it hurts. I wish I couldn't. But we take it to Breath Church. Whatever you got, BYOG, bring your own garbage, bring your own good, bring your own God, bring your own great, be your own goodness gracious. But come to Breath Church once a month on the Breath Source. I'll play some violin live. I make all my own beats. It's all lo-fi, fat J Dilla beats, dope shit. And then just breathe. I have one breath, 3 circuits. You can't mess it up. All the other breath people are like, that's not even breath work, dude. That's too simple. There's nothing to that. So I've created something that you can't mess up. That's the most inclusive thing in the world. If you're breathing and identify as having lungs, you belong. So you could come to our shindig. And I guess that's it. That's sort of how I found breath. And along the way, I've had the chance to give it to A-list pop stars, some multi-billion-dollar companies. I've been asked to sponsor a pro racing team right now, which is kind of cool. I've got some other opportunities that are brilliant and cartoonish, considering this came out of intensive care and 3.5 hours in an MRI that could not even read my breath, didn't know I was alive. And from that place, here we are today. So Breath Church is a thing. Entertainment and breath are the future. And I believe that you've created the Breathertainment Network. We've talked about that. And I believe that this collection of genius and breath that you've put together is the future. And I'm all in on doing whatever I can to support and bring the entertainment and the fun and the wow with a little fairy dust and glitter, or maybe a boa occasionally, to the breath source? Thanks for asking, Travis.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. When we built the breath source, we built it all around co-creation and conscious capitalism. And when I write the word co-creation, I always put a dash between co and creation. And you are that dash between co-creation, man, that brings the two together. I gotta say, it's beautiful.
Thank you, brother. I received
Well,
that.
thank you for that. You've always been just a beautiful light, man. And some of the cool things that you're a big part of is this new company called Oxa that you can also find on the app. Oxa was introduced by Sage, and they're probably the most advanced software on the market. And it's this band that you can wear or a shirt that you can put on. I'm traveling, and I have mine with me right now. And what's been cool about it is that when you breathe in, you can actually hear your breath. And when you breathe out, you can hear your breath in your earbuds. And so you can really get to that feather breath mentality. You can really get to that 1 minute per breath mentality, and you can use the breath to really tap in a new way and a scientific way and have a lot of feedback. And so tell us about that, Sage.
Thanks, Travis. That Oxa is an incredible company. It's not just a device. It's the human beings that create the device and the software. They are an extraordinary group of people, credentialed beyond imagination to create the device and the ecosystem. I think their app ecosystem is incredibly elegant, incredibly cool, and incredibly fun. And what's exciting is we get to create, as breath people, we get to create original content through the app. So if you're actually on the breath source, you can go to a tab and just click on it, and it says Oxa. So if you've got an Oxa strap, which I highly recommend, it is extraordinary. In a world of wearables that I largely ignore, I'm approached a lot. I largely ignore them. Oxa, I got to know them about 1.5 years ago. And so I've been sitting with the company in iteration after iteration of their product. The strap is the newest, most elegant, most easy to use, completely portable. Wear it under your clothes all day in the office. Monitoring and intervention device I've ever seen. And it's
Yeah.
elegant. Elegance matters. It's the art. They've really created something special. So check it out in the Breath Source app. We're doing a strategic partnership with them, and I will be increasingly making content specifically that you can use on the Breath Source app while you're with your Oxa strapped around you, or the t-shirt or sports bra, and you can begin to get that biometric feedback, that emotional connection to the information that you get. It's not about connection to a device. It's about the emotional connection you can make to yourself using that feedback loop. Do you agree?
Oh, totally. And what's cool about it is it's kind of like the Oura Ring, but much more advanced on breath. And when you can understand that the breath is the tachometer for your nervous system, it lets you know where you're at running your engine all day, every day. You can actually wear this thing where it's on a constant monitoring system, and it'll give you feedback as to whether you're in coherence or out of coherence. And for those coaches that are out there, they have a dashboard where if Sage is coaching someone, he can have access to their dashboard. And because he's in front of his command center all day, he can actually know if one of his clients is having a tough time, and he can pick up the phone and he can call them. And so there's a really cool accountability method being built into Oxa right now that I think could really help the world. So I love it.
It's cool too for me as a breath guy to occasionally put it on, and I'm like, wow, am I tense? And this is where I get excited. My breath will be very low. Everything will be in order, but my HRV will be off, and it'll say tense. It'll give you a little readback. And so I love that feedback loop because all the metrics are there except for how I'm thinking. And that's my whole thing with neuroacrobatics. How we think while we breathe is more important than anything else. I know that's heresy in the breath world, but I'm that early heretic claiming that the world isn't flat. I'm like, no, listen, the breath patterns are irrelevant. You could breathe the right way with the wrong idea and wire in the wrong thing into your body. And Oxa has been the easiest N of one means of proving that. So all of my breath mechanics, all the stuff we're proud of as breath people, we work on ourselves, our superpower, and we love breath and we're into it. I love finding out where I failed. I love finding out where I'm completely wrong, totally tense, off the charts, and don't know what I'm talking about. Because every time I come into one of those with some feedback, I'm like, this is a learning opportunity I would have never had. And so I'm constantly excited with how Oxa tells me where I need to grow.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Neuroacrobatics and breather trainment, everybody. Breath Church, Sage Rader, my friend. Thank you so much for the beautiful gift that you're bringing to the world and how you're portraying it to the world and your congruency in that. So it's awesome.
Welcome, man.
So, as we do on every episode, we'd love to have Sage take us out in a 5-minute breath episode and just let us bring our own breath to the table and let Sage take us away.
Hey, this one's called a nose blossom special. That's the politically correct version. I also call it a nose boner because the tissue in your nose is the same as in your genitals. True story. So when you breathe and think in a very specific way, what happens? The tissue in your nose swells. And if you identify as having a nose, this is the most occlusive thing in the world. So we're going to breathe in and out the nose very, very simply for the next few minutes. You ready?
Let's do it, buddy.
Level of music okay? You got music?
We do.
Great. Let's just begin by closing your eyes. Begin to breathe in and out the nose. Begin to focus all of your attention as you breathe in and out the nose. Noticing the taste, texture, sight, sound, smell, and sensation associated. And focusing all of your attention simply at the tip of the nose. That's all we're doing. The entire time. If you're doing that already, you're ahead of the curve. Tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, filling the nose with lightness. And as you focus on that lightness, imagining what that lightness can bring. Life moves on lightness. And so in this moment, inviting lightness from the tip of the nose to the bridge of the nose. And just focusing. Notice what you notice. Now inviting the breath a little further now, tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, backs of the eyes, and letting the backs of the eyes settle and relax a little more. And with every inhale, kissing the backs of the eyeballs. Hello, eyeballs. I love you, eyeballs. That's all we're doing. Kissing the backs of the eyeballs with the breath. Beginning to let the exhales spill out a little easier now. If you haven't already, a sigh of relief. Simply dump it. And as you release, just drop down a little more. 3.5 minutes. That's all we're doing. Just breathing, noticing the nose, observing taste, texture, sight, sound, smell, and sensation. What can you feel when your nose becomes the most pleasurable place in the universe? With the eyes still closed, and the breath soft and smooth, relaxing a little more and landing. And now when you're ready, focusing all of your attention from the backs of the eyes down to the tip of your nose, very slowly, very gently, fluttering your eyelids open like butterfly wings. bringing your attention back into this space and place and time. Fully awake, fully aware, and fully relaxed. Enjoy the rest of your day or night.
Beautiful, my brother. Talk about the gift in the present moment of now. You just gave that to all of us. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And Sage does incredible breathwork sessions live on the Breath Source app. Now we call it the Source. So you'll continue to watch me ease into the Source. And so go onto the Source, go to the live section, find Sage Rader's tile, click on it, and go join his class. And Sage, thank you for being a gift to the world and a gift to the Source.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be in the family. Shout out to everybody on the app, Breath Source crew. Love you. Appreciate
We're
you.
so glad that in that moment in time, you decided to make it.
Thank you. I'm still deciding a day at a time, a breath at a time to make it. And anybody out there who feels that way, I want to invite you to join us at Next Breath Church on the 14th at noon Eastern. You can get tickets in the app. You can go to our Eventbrite. I'll be there with arms wide open, really excited to see you there and look forward to all of you coming. If it hurts, bring it to church and I'll be there waiting with my breath. You bring your breath, I'll keep it weird.
Love it. All right, brother. Love you, man. Have a great day.
You too.
See you, tribe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.